My name is Kenneth Orange, 36. My son is Kamai Orange, age 8.
Okay. So how did you feel that moment that you realized you're about to be a father?
I think it was kind of crazy because I was happy and I was a little bit scared. Um, my wife, for the entire first 3 years we were together, every month she was taking a pregnancy test. So I was so used to hearing her say, "I think I'm pregnant." I wasn't really paying much attention to it. She called me at work, and I left work and found her in the house with like a slew of pregnancy tests on the ground. So I believed her when I saw the test, and I was very happy. I was happy to be a father, but I was scared because if you knew me then, I was always a good person. I feel like I was responsible, but putting somebody's child in my care was good. But my own child was concerning. Like, I'm going to be responsible for life and raising somebody and giving somebody those good lessons that you're supposed to give for them to be productive. And that was a little bit much for me at the time because I wasn't sure if I could do it. I was just being honest.
All right. So let me ask you. So you said just your child's name is Kamai, boy
Yep.
or girl?
Boy.
Boy. So was there a difference when you found out that you were having a boy?
Uh, I knew. Well, I knew we have a lot of boys in my family, so like the chance of me having a girl would have been like very slim. I think it would have been it's different for me because, all, in their hearts, all men want to raise a son. You want to, that next part of the bloodline and passing down those manly lessons. But also to raise a daughter is different because you have a different set of concerns. After some time, the boys, they're going to be coming around for your daughter. And then you have to have that different mindset of I'm dad the raiser and I'm also dad the protector and I'm also dad the one that's going to keep that little boy away from my daughter. So I think that on the front end I knew I was going to have a son, but when we went and got the ultrasound and all that, my wife was a little bit more. I think all women inherently they want to have a girl. So like when she found out we were having a boy, she was happy, but I think she took that little hit of, oh, it's not going to be, the daughter that she can play dress up with and all that stuff. But for me, I was happy either way. As long as my child came out healthy and happy, I was good either way.
Okay. All right. So how was the relationship with your father, and how did it affect the relationship that you have with your son?
I think well, my son never met my father. My father passed 12 years ago now. My son is 8. So I think that, my dad was a hard person. Like he was old school. So there was a lot of things that he did that at the time, being a child, I could never understand. And today, being a dad, I realized he did those things to shape me into a strong person. And some of those things I take into what I do with my son, and some of them I don't because I feel like she's learned. You learn through trial and error. So some of the things that I feel like as a child that in my dad's last moments, like me and him had to have conversations, and we had to have other people come in, my uncles, my brothers, my mentors come in because there was a point where, as my dad, I always will love him, and I always did love him, but at certain points we didn't like each other. I felt like, and that was my thing because I just couldn't understand why he was doing what he was doing. So for my son, I like to communicate more. I like to express more to him, like tell my son as many chances as I can that I love him and show him support and things like that. Where my dad, he would show you how he felt, but he wasn't a communicator. Like I say, he was old school, so he might say 3 words in a day, but those 3 words were like very poignant words. But as a son, sometimes you just want to hear your dad say certain things.
Okay. Now, as far as you saying you used to have to go to some mentors, how would you feel if your son had to go away from you and then sometimes had to go to like a mentor in order to talk? How would that make you feel?
I think knowing my reasons behind having to do it, I wouldn't feel negatively about it because like my son, at this point in time, I might be my son's best friend. At some point in time, that changes just because as a boy, you grow up and you start to take your steps into manhood, and part of those natural steps is bucking against your father. So there are things that he's not going to feel comfortable telling me about or talking to me about, no matter what I do. He might go to his uncle. He might go to his cousins. He might go to some of my friends. His godfather, like my son loves his godfather to death. Like, sometimes I think he loves his godfather more than he loves me, and I'm okay with that though because we're part of raising each other's children. So if he goes to his godfather sometimes and says some things, I'm happy that he has somebody communicating with. I'd rather he has somebody to talk to than have to find out things on his own or be aimless on his own. And that's where the streets and life grab you, and then they don't give you the right answer. They give you the answer that they want you to have.
Now, as far as you, what is your occupation?
I'm an assistant principal.
Your sister. All right. ask that because I would like to know what is your role in your kids' education? Because I know you're responsible for hundreds of kids and making sure they go on the right path. What is your role as far as your own child's education?
I feel like one of the things I always hear my dad saying, and let me say this, like people say, like I have a calling. I always wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to be a principal. That wasn't me. That wasn't what I wanted to do in life. I was going to be like an astronaut basketball player, and I just found my way into child care and youth care and social work and things like that. But I feel like one thing I always hear my dad saying is, no matter what happens in life, people can never take your education from you. Like no matter what happens, they'll never take your diplomas, your degrees, and things like that. But I don't feel like our kids have that person telling them that all the time. Like the people that are in their homes are not necessarily people that value education as much as we might. So when a child comes to school, they're already fighting an uphill battle because nobody checked their homework last night. Nobody made sure they ate breakfast. They just put them out the house because they were going to be in the house today, and they didn't necessarily want their child there with them. So when a child comes to school, I have to have them understand how important education is and what education can do for them. A lot of the mindset of people today is, I'll do something, but how's it going to benefit me? And education is not something that benefits you right now. If you go to the gym, it benefits you right now. If a kid goes to the playground and shoots, in their mind, 10 jump shots, they're LeBron right now. But education is a marathon. Children don't People don't necessarily understand that once you start educating that child, not in school but at home, like when they're born, like when you talk to your child, those cooing sounds, loving your child, conditioned response. The child goes like this because they reach it out to you. That reach out is so that you'll give them something back. That reach out changes as they become 5, 10, 12, 15, 18, graduate college. So my role rather is to have them understand that this process will benefit you in the long run. Although you might not understand it right now, some point in time when I'm sitting at one of your many graduations, you'll understand the reason that I was the way I was with you and your teachers were the way they were with you and demanding a certain level of excellence from you that you might not that demand might not come from you everywhere, but you'll know every day you come to me, it's going to come from me.
Okay. All right. So, as far as you being a father at home, you're also a father at school. Um, you have, like I said, hundreds of kids who they might not even know their father. If they do have a father, a lot of times they're getting negative um, um, responses from their father, negative roles and things like that from their father. How do you take that role of not just being the father at home, but being a father at school to these hundreds of kids in that community? How do you take on that role?
It's hard because you never know what children are coming from. For me, it's sort of kind of like it's natural. Like that's like I said, this is not my calling, but children are my calling. I've always worked with kids, so like right now, if you have kids, I'm gonna come and your kids gonna come here, and I'm gonna interact with your children because I just feel like that they need to see as many positive role models as possible. So child comes, it doesn't matter if they have a dad or not. I'm going to be the positive male black figure that they see in school. So hopefully, if they don't have that person, they can see if I'm a boy. Maybe I want to be like Mr. Orange. Maybe I like the way he dresses. Maybe I like the way he talks. Maybe I like the fact that he's cool. Maybe he's funny. Whatever. If they can build that connection with me, then we can build on how they can become a better person. And for the girls, it's different. Like you asked me about the difference between having a son and a daughter. For the girls, it's different because so many of these little girls are coming from not the best situations, and they're learning at an early age that their body is their value. And that hurts to see a second grade girl that can twerk but she can't read. Like that bothers me, not because she's on the wrong path, but because somebody thought that was okay. Somebody thought it was acceptable for her to be able to twerk, but she can't pick up a book and read. So for those children, it's like I feel like I have to be the role model for them because and God didn't bless me with a daughter because if it was my child, I would probably lose my mind. But because I can help these people and help these children and the adults, sometimes you have to sit the parents down and realize your child acts like this because you act like this. So we teach your child, but you're the educator. You educate your child from the moment that they're born. So they've learned this behavior from you. So how can we fix this? How can we make this child understand that his or her worth is more than a sneaker that they wear or the fact that they can dance a certain type of way?
All right, Ken. My next question is I want to ask you, how has fatherhood changed you?
I think knowing that I'm responsible for someone else's life and someone else's future calmed me down a lot. And not calm me down because I was never like a wild party type dude. It changed your priorities. It changes your focus. Um, it makes me understand that somebody's counting on me every day. Like when I like the highlight of my day, no matter how long my day is, when I come home, my son is usually the first person I see. Like he's usually either opening the door or when I step through the door, he's running full speed at me, and understanding that that's my focus now. That's my goal. Like when you're younger and you don't have as many responsibilities, your goal is you. Everything is you oriented. I'm doing this today. I'm working this hard today because I want to buy these speakers for my car. I want to buy this car. I'm going to stay up all night to get these sneakers that come out. And it's like once you have somebody that's yours. Like my son is the best part of me. All the best parts of me went into him. So it's like once I realized that I'm responsible for that little guy every day, there's nothing really else I'm living for. Everything I do rotates around him and making sure that he is the best person he can be.
So, with that being said, what is the hardest part of being a father?
I think the hardest part of being a father is, for me, I have a son. So, and I tell even the kids I work with, my son's a boy. Someday he's gonna be a young man. Someday he's gonna be a man. Throughout all that, he's black. So someday he's gonna grow up to be a black man. And you never want your children to go through the rough times that you've gone through, but some of that's necessary. Some of that's necessary for him to understand what the actual struggle of being a black man is. And I tell people this joke all the time. And it's like, I'm 36. I told 36 in December. I'm a 36-year-old black man in Philadelphia. I have outlived my life expectancy. So everything I do now is extra. Everything now is gravy. So for him, the hard part is having him not being able at 8 years old to understand some things that are going on, not understand why everybody's upset because police officers who are the people that, as parents, you train your children. If something goes wrong, you go to find the police. No matter what, that blue uniform is the person that helps you. Daddy, why is everybody mad at the police officers? He doesn't understand it. Daddy, why is it that I have a shirt with a hood. I like hoods. It's comfortable. My son wears a hood everywhere because it's comfortable. He likes to be warm. Dad, why can't we wear hoods? Not that you can wear a hood, son, but it's how people look at you when you wear a hood. But it's nothing that you did wrong because you're 8. You're a child. It's their problem. And he doesn't understand that. So part of the struggle is trying to figure out the best way to explain things to him that he's not going to understand until he's had to live through them.
All right. So I have another question. What is being a father to you? What is being a father to you?
It's a privilege. Uh, it's a responsibility. It is. It's. I mean, for lack of cornier terms, it's like a mission because it's not something that you can ever quit. I don't understand how people don't see their kids. I don't. I mean, I'm not judging anybody. Everybody has their own situations, whether it be with the woman that you're with, whether it be that you had to change states, whether it had to be that you something. I, ever since he first came out, I couldn't understand how anybody could be separate from their child. So to me, being a father is my responsibility. You know, I was blessed with having a child, happy, healthy son. It was a happy, healthy daughter, no matter what. Like I said, it's the best part of me. So my goal is to make sure that he is the best person he can be. And I don't want him to be the best person he can be. I want him to be better than me. That's how I know my job is done. With whatever I've accomplished in life, when I stop breathing air, whatever I've accomplished, I know that he surpassed that.
All right. So, what is some of the best advice that you could give to an expecting father?
So the best advice you can give to an expectant father, for me, I would say that be patient, uh, communicate with your child, be your child's best friend, but have them understand that you are their leader. And always, 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 no matter what, let your child know that you love them. Let your child know that nobody loves them the way you love them, and that you'll always love them.
So I have who, if you could just pick one, who is your best TV father and why?
That's, you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I know he's taking some hits right now. He's having a rough time. I'm not going to I don't know what he was doing in his personal life. However, I feel like if you are a black man between the ages of 25 and 40, that Bill Cosby.
Santa Claus is whatever you are in that house. See, when he comes down the chimney, let's say that you were Japanese, he would zoom Japanese. See, and then he would come in here, same Santa Claus, zoom African American. I was over to Mr. Jefferson's house. He's Caucasian, you know. And I'm sitting there, Mr. Jefferson left. Santa Claus came down, zoom. He was Caucasian. Looked at me. He said, "Uh-oh." You understand? So I said, "It's all right. He'll be downstairs in a minute." And we gave a high five.
I said it. Bill Cosby was your role model for fatherhood. And I have a little story to go with this. And like I said, he's going through some tough times. I feel like Bill Cosby put on TV the patience of fatherhood, the impatience of fatherhood, how to get mad with your child, how to talk with your child, and still bring it all full circle. You know, a lot of times people say, "Well, do this with your kid, do that with your kid," like some of the advice other people give you, but they never really tell you how to bring it back full circle. Funny is, my son, he plays basketball. My son's an athlete. He plays basketball. So like he's at the point now where he's like a little independent. So he came to me and his mother and said, "I want these sneaks for basketball season." No problem. My son's also at the age where he believes in Santa Claus. So I bought him the sneaks. He got some trouble on the school bus. He wasn't listening to the school bus. So I had a Cosby moment. Brought my son downstairs like 9 o'clock in the morning, groggy, Saturday morning. I said, "Daddy got you these sneaks. Try these on." He's looking at me. Because my he's a thinker like I am. He didn't really give me these sneaks. Put them on. Oh, he thought the box was going to be empty. He puts the sneaks on, tries them on. He's still looking at me. Pajamas and sneaks. He's looking at me. His mother's there. She doesn't really know where I'm going with this yet. How they feel? They good. I said, "Okay. Well, run. Just running. Run up and down the hallway. Let me see how you feeling." He's running, doing his little stopping drills. Now he's excited. "Oh, I got my sneaks. I'm okay." Daddy forgot that I was just in trouble at the school bus. "You okay? How they feel? They feel good? They look good? You like them? Take them off. Get dressed. Go put your sweatsuit on." I take my son to Foot Locker. Now my wife's on board. People at Foot Locker's like, "What's wrong?" I walk my son up. "Introduce yourself." "Hi, my name's Kamar." So he's like, "Hey, Kamar." She's happy. "Hey, Kamar, how you doing?" He's crumbling. I'm seeing him crumble. I got to hold it together, though, because I'm dad. "What's wrong with the sneaks?" "Nothing's wrong with the sneaks, miss. They're wonderful." "They're not for him, though." "Tell her why you have to give these back." "I have to give these back because I acted up on the school bus and I don't deserve them." The manager of the Foot Locker came out and he refunded them. He told my son, he said, "Listen, you have to get this right. Like, dad bought you these, but he's teaching you a lesson. He's teaching you a life lesson. If you feel like you didn't deserve these, you have to do what it takes to deserve them." The guy followed me out of Foot Locker. He's like, "You want me to keep these?" Like, this was real power. You want me to keep these? I said, "No, those don't belong to my son. He might get another pair, but he didn't earn these." And for me, that was a Cosby moment because my son understood that his actions had consequences. And he came to me with a plan of, well, if I'm good for a certain amount of days, you think I can get them back? I don't know. Let's find out if you're good for a certain amount of days, if you can get them back.
Hey, good. All right. So my last question: what does Father's Day 365 mean to you?
Father's Day 365 is big for me because I feel like black men are valuable in our community, but so many of our unfortunate brothers have made negative decisions which reflect on all of us. So it's like, when you see a black man that's a father, automatically there's some things. And as a man, we do it sometimes ourselves. So you see a guy walking down the street with 3 kids. Like, are these his kids? Are these his stepkids? Is this his time to be with the kids? What have you? I think Father's Day 365 puts a forum out there to have black men be recognized. And part of being a man is not needing somebody to recognize you. Part of being a man is not needing somebody to pat you on your back for doing the things that you're supposed to do. But it's good to be recognized. Like, the only thing that goes on sale Father's Day is socks and ties. Mercedes Benz has a Mother's Day sale, though, just so you understand that. So it's not about being recognized, but it's about having to be able to share a forum where there's other positive black men that you can see, like, there are others out there doing it. We're not an anomaly. This is how life is supposed to be. This is how men are supposed to act. And I think putting that out there for more people to see might change the negative perception of just black men in general, or at least it's a start. My name is Kenny Orange. I'm 36-year-old father of Kamai Orange, age 8. Kamai, this is daddy. Sit up. All right. What I want to tell you is, you know, I you have a pretty good father. I feel like I had a pretty good father. You never met your grandfather. But one thing that he always told me was that I will be a better man than he will be someday. I never thought that was true or possible until I had you. And now I understand what he means. So I'm going to let you know the same thing. You're going to be a better man someday than I am. I love you. Always will.